What's up, everybody? Valhalla Sports Talk is on the air. NASCAR Cup Series racing from Daytona. Rain, rain, go away, come again, another day. And Valhalla Sports Talk is here for all the action. Hey, RID10, welcome to the Berserkers. General Thor, we proud. That is Ty Gibbs, Mr. Parsons, Ty Gibbs. All right, let's do some shout-outs real quick. But what's up, everybody? A rainy Daytona. Rainy Daytona. But they're going to try to get it going. Our first look at the track today, at least my first look at the track, and it looks wet still. Jet dryers on the backstretch stopped, not moving. So we're going to have a delay. This is going to be a rain delay. Shocker, I know. But shout out to Adventures with David, Sheila J. Ross, Jack Serrano was in here for a bit. Chris Davis in the house. Rob Parsons up in here. The Curve even checked in. Aaron Johnson, what's up? Brandon B. Scott Nichols, up in here. Yeah, that kid really driving. That is Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs, the grandchild of Joe Gibbs from Joe Gibbs Racing. And he's a hell of a car driver, y'all. He is a hell of a car driver. He's been filling in for Kurt Busch for the last 5 or 6 weeks. Damn near won the race last night. Did I get a black Sharpie and color that, Mo? What are you talking about? What you talking about? What's up, Steve Folks? Shake and bake Ricky Bobby, says Marcus. Yeah, 19 years old. No, he hasn't been announced yet, Kurt, but it's going to happen. He's going to be the driver of that 18 car next year for Joe Gibbs Racing. He's going to be the driver of that 18, I have little or no doubt. All right, let's listen in on the telecast here. Now, I'm giving you the clear audio, so it's going to be delayed a little bit.
I think we've learned as kids just how much this meant to our dads and the efforts that they
What's up, big dog?
But it was more of a vacation during that time. But as we became competitors...
Testing, 1, 2, 3, okay.
I remember the first time I was going to come here and actually race, and I'd been through that tunnel a number of times, but this place looked different. It was like way bigger than life.
What's up,
and
RC?
When you get out on the racetrack itself, you understand...
They got football games on there today?
Car, and I think Chase Briscoe
it's on NBC on DirecTV.
Daytona,
and I'm watching it on the computer.
To have the good fortune to win.
But shout out to Annapolis.
Realize just how special this place is. It's a feeling.
Oh yeah, he's gone from JGR. It's almost a done deal, bro.
More than anywhere else.
Rumor is he's headed to Colleague Racing.
Place that things started, and the winning is just more special here.
Yeah, we talked about, or we heard from our statistics ourselves, but our buddy there in the other booth, Jeff Burton, actually has a win here as well.
Yep.
Actually in this race back, I believe, in 2000. Let's see, Jeff Burton.
I remember this win of Jeff Burton at Daytona in 2000. I remember this.
Do it that night. So Mr. Burton, tell us about that.
You must have had a problem.
Got you, Havoc 909.
That was, yeah, you know, that was the winning here at Daytona. You guys said it.
Is that a prediction, Alex, or something you saw?
All the history and the heritage about NASCAR.
Is that a prediction, Alex, or something you just saw?
This racetrack. That was my only win here. And I still
What's up,
remember
Thomas
it today
Forbes?
because it did mean so much. And part of that was because of the respect I had for you, Dale, and how good you were at this racetrack, and to find a way to get in front of you and finish there, that was just amazing to me. And this is one of those racetracks you got to be willing to do things.
Man, some people, the questions they ask.
On that one night, it worked
some
out
people.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's
I mean,
an
the
idiot
racing
on
at the
Twitter.
super
What's the
speedways, especially Daytona
earliest it
Talladega,
stops
unlike
raining?
anything else, and
Who
you're
the fuck
wide open all
knows?
the way around the racetrack,
Who the fuck
and
knows?
then things can happen in a hurry and sweep a lot of guys up in it. So we see the big ones. We've seen them here for decades, and they get pretty chaotic throughout.
Track
throughout
drying
the
has been
races.
halted
And
41
even yesterday,
seconds ago.
We had an incredible race. A lot of action, a lot of cars got taken out. I think the statistic was there were only about 5 guys left in this race, the Xfinity race last night, when it was all said and done, that hadn't been in an accident of some kind.
Yeah, it's for some reason the intensity just ramps up.
Dodgers
we
tied up
talk
at
about
1.
how important it is to win here and what it means, and so everybody understands that. But the racing is so different. You're always in a pack. Doesn't matter how good a driver you are, how much you know about the drafting, trying to get yourself positioned.
Yeah, no
things
shit,
just
Rob.
ramp up here, and especially as we saw
Unbelievable.
last night when it got late in time.
Unbelievable.
For somebody to win, these drivers started pushing and shoving a little bit more.
Yeah, no contact started
I
a
don't
lot of
get
the
it.
action that we saw
Why
last
do I look
night,
so
but
freaking
also
red?
noticed that these cars were not handling as quite as comfortable as we're used to or we come to expect. Since the repave here, this track's been pretty much locked down. A lot of grip.
That's 'cause I got
no
a
real issues with balance
dark
and
screen on
handling.
my right.
But
It's
the
not lighting
change
me
in
up.
the asphalt color, you can see this place aging. You can see the grip leaving
Let me
this
see if I can
racetrack.
fix
And
this.
last night, those guys had their hands full.
It's
Yeah,
like we
that
got
was the way it was
time.
for the majority of my career before they decided to repay that. You know, it was slick. That's what you love, the bumps and figuring out how you got through there and the things that you did. But there's a lot more to racing here than just going out, holding it wide open and turning
What
left
time
and
does the
hope that
sun
you
come
end up
out?
in a good spot. Sure, you have to have
What's
a
up,
little
David
luck
Ross?
along the way. But there were things, I think we learned a lot from the same person. You
Alex,
happen to be
are
in the
you
same
hearing this
household
somewhere,
with me.
bro, or are you just
I learned the hard way
guessing?
on the racetrack from your dad.
If you're hearing it somewhere, tell me
Did
where you
things
saw
and-
that.
and went about things differently and first before a lot of other people figured out that this is how you could make your way to the front. You
Faith,
could
this
pass.
isn't the start
You
of the
could actually
playoffs. The
hinder
playoffs start
the
next week.
progress of other people by side drafting and doing things like that. And your dad was the first one that I
Playoffs
saw
start
to
next
do
week.
that, and then be able to utilize the speed that you get from the draft. And so there's a lot more to it than just holding it wide open. You have to understand when to make runs, when not to, so you can literally make a difference in where you end up. And sometimes patience, you don't think about that. We didn't see much of that last night. Hopefully we see a little more tonight. But sometimes that patience will pay off to where a better run comes at an opportunity for you to move forward and try to win.
Yeah, that strategy and understanding how to draft, how to use a side draft to your effect and improve your position is really going to be important for these guys tonight. A lot of guys in some situations where they really need to win, but let's kind of handicap some of the drivers that we're going to see tonight that are going to go out there and try to make it happen. Let's talk about Ryan Blaney. You know, how does
What
this
do
guy
I think
run the
about
race
Kyle
tonight?
and Elliott at
He's good on
Watkins
points,
Glen?
but
Hey,
he can,
try to win the
have
race.
A bad night. Somebody could win the race.
Try
bump
to
him
win
out.
the race.
Truex could have a great night, outpoint him. What's he going to do?
Yeah, it's a real balance, and it's difficult to go at and think about. You know, I thought when there was only one spot
color is
open,
my
his
garden
only
hose?
choice really was
Green.
to go try to win the race, which he did here last year. So we understand he knows how. He finds himself at the front
No
of the
green
pack
flag
here a
out
lot.
yet, Captain.
You know, that's one thing about it is you see him and Denny Hamlin usually find themselves
If
up
Flora
front
was a
battling
girl,
for
what would her
win.
name
I
be?
think tonight they have to go hard in these first two stages, try to
Vikings
accumulate as
are
many
up in
points
here.
as they possibly can, just in case we have a new
Big
winner,
Dog
and they
Kurt
can put
Busch
some
bowed
distance
out
or not
of the
lose
playoffs.
anything to
He
Martin
could
Truex
still come
Jr.
back and
I
drive
think
the car
if
this
he can
year,
have two
but
good
he
stages
said
to
he
begin
didn't
with
want to
and
be in the
gather some
playoffs.
points,
He
then
wanted
he
someone
can look
else
at
to
things a
get
little
that
differently and
spot.
understand how he might go after
So
it. But I expect him
NASCAR,
to race
the
hard
appeal
and
was
try to be up
dropped. I
front
guess there
and
was
try
some
to win
kind of an
this race.
appeal to
We
get
have
him in
a
the
lot of guys in
playoffs.
the field that are very
But
good
that's been
at
dropped, so there's
Speedway
two
racing,
spots
really,
open.
Really talented at it. One of those names that I think is either in the top 5 or the top 3 even is Brad
Yeah, it doesn't look
Keselowski.
good, Thomas.
Won the duel here at Daytona in February. Had a lot of speed in those cars.
Yeah,
and
they're
we know
currently
that
on
he
rain
knows
delay.
how to make all of the decisions out on the racetrack.
Here,
When
let's
it comes
do
to
this,
side
try to make
drafting,
that clear.
When it comes to bump drafting, gets a little aggressive
Yep.
sometimes. He's willing to throw the blocks that need to happen. I think Brad Keselowski is the guy that I'm going to be watching tonight to see just how aggressive he's willing to be. He's going to have to make the most risks I believe he's ever made as a driver at this racetrack in this race, but I know he has a talent to make it happen.
Yeah, and this is a night when that risk could bring back a big reward for him and that race team that he's helping build back. And the next driver I'm going to talk about has one here, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He understands this. This is another driver that we see all the time that at these racetracks, Daytona and Talladega in particular, that he finds himself in the mix. He is willing to do whatever it takes. We see him push, shove his way there, whatever he needs to do.
88, up in here.
He ends up on the hook going in before the race is over, but he's willing to lay it out there and do whatever it takes to try to put himself in that position. And I believe we'll see Ricky Stenhouse in the mix here tonight. Can he get it to the end?
Rain delay right now, Mr. Parsons.
And he does have friends because they know that he will do that.
Yeah, I like to call him the wild card of the wild card. The last guy I want to talk about, Bubba Wallace. You know, you can't come.
That's true, Faith. That's a good way to put it, Faith. That's exactly what went down.
Racers as well. I think he's learned a lot from Denny Hamlin, but he just always seems to find his way toward the front of these things when it matters. So we're going to be keeping our eye on Bubba as well. And
so it's currently 4:32. The Viking game starts at 6 o'clock, y'all.
A lot of history tonight. A lot of guys trying to make history.
So we'll hang out for the beginning here, see if anything good happens. If it doesn't, and they delay it till tomorrow, I'll come up on a Viking stream at 6 o'clock my time.
Thanks, Dale. You know,
Or
I know
9
it's a big
o'clock
history
Eastern.
buff that you are. It's hard to know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. So when I tell you that NASCAR has been here on the beach, I mean that quite
yes,
literally.
I think there's
We're
a
here at
decent
Racing
chance,
North Turn,
a decent
restaurant that's
chance,
at the
Rob,
north
that the
turn of
rain
what was the
delay
old
could
course.
delay
It was
the
a
race.
4-mile course where drivers would turn from the sand here and they would blast down A1A. And when you take a look at those historical pictures and you see the views that fans were getting, there'd be loads of cars in the turns in the sand on either side. They'd rip
But we
2
got
miles
105
down
up in here,
A1A
up in here.
and
Hit
then
that
turn
subscribe
back
if
into
you're
town,
new.
right down there at Ponce Inlet. What was so amazing.
I think he might be right, RC. I think Kurt Busch might be done in NASCAR, personally.
On the beach, and then one day,
We'll see, though.
a couple miles up the road, Bill France Sr. gathered some people, some racing
That's what ended Dale
officials, some
Jr.'s career.
drivers, even some promoters, and he put them all together at the Streamline Hotel. This was in December of 1947, and a conversation began that day. And all in, it took about 69 days before, in February of 1948, they decided they were going to start NASCAR. So next year will actually be the 75th anniversary, which is so amazing. But you think about the history that this sport has. It can't exist without Daytona, without Daytona Beach, without the North Turn, and without the Streamline Hotel. It's also so cool that fans can get up close to these, Marty, see them themselves, and really get to feel that amazing history that
You're
this
just
town holds
trolling
for
me
NASCAR.
now, Rob. I'm about to give you a little
so much history
timeout.
to check out here in Daytona. Hey, Brad,
I'm
what's a
about to
week in
time your
NASCAR
ass
without
out.
some hurt feelings?
Oh, you gotta have it, man. That's what it's all
Certainly,
about.
A bunch of
certainly had
stoners
that
in this
last
chat
week.
says
When we come
Viking
back, we'll
Jerome,
talk
just my
about
type of
controversy
people.
between Hendrick
They're on
Motorsports
something,
teammate
some of them.
Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson
Some of
for
them
the
are on
second
something.
time this year.
Man, no lattes being served.
Still green. And
outside.
look at this. Oh!
Stupid motherfucker. Cool.
You're going back to your regular name, David Ross? What was your regular
Back
name?
up through the gears we go.
Dab Dave?
He's going to crowd Chase Elliott for the lead.
Should have known better than that. Fuck, I'm failing on the radio. We'll talk about it.
What would you like to say to him?
Congratulations. I'm not proud of it, but it's for what I felt like I had to do to get the win.
Cracked windshield?
There you
Don't
go,
wait.
Faith.
Go to safelight.com. You can schedule service in just a few
Rob
clicks.
says you
It's
won't
so
time me
easy.
out, you
More
son of a
customers
bitch.
today are relying on their cars at
All right, I'm going to refresh Twitter here. See if anything's up on the Twitter tweets about whether this thing's going or not. A lot of people pissed off because NASCAR is getting booted for preseason football. Breaking, according to Andrew Broadwater. Wonder if I could show you all this. No, that don't work. It don't work like that, y'all. What's up, Walter Scott? They do have 4 tires on the cars, Mr. Parsons. What's up, Duke Chronic? Wheel Gunny, Kellen Mond is going to light up the scoreboard. Tyler got his lucky Kyle Busch shirt on. Many wheels, but only 4 tires, says Duke.
Power currently the championship leader. Things can change quickly here at Daytona. In contention 1 minute, wrecked the next. Austin Dillon knows that all too well after a vicious crash here a few years ago. Here's how it happened.
Did they trade him to Indiana? Robert?
For all the marbles, and Earnhardt is away with the lead.
Yeah, I remember this. Pushing Jeff Gordon as hard as he can, going to the Daytona.
Junior will win at Daytona, and the big one happens behind them.
Oh no! Oh my God!
Not the most fun experience there.
Back it out.
I don't know what Brad was doing 30 minutes later. That hurt.
Holy crap, now the 2 just pounded into him.
This is the coolest part, is all the people coming out to the car and putting their lives kind of out there.
Austin, you all right? Austin, talk to us.
I hate hearing my grandfather ask those questions right there because I couldn't respond because the radio's ripped out of the car, which is kind of wild knowing that the radio...
I don't see nothing about Westbrook.
I hit his freaking engine.
That's Brendan talking about the engine.
Thumbs going up.
He got out, Richard, he got out. He got out of the car.
I'd watched 8 seconds
Faith
that
says,
week.
funny thing is when NASCAR comes on, I usually shut my door, but now that I turn my family into NASCAR fans, they usually ask who's racing.
We had rode a bull for sure in that one.
What are you asking me, Alex? NASCAR
Wow,
football.
DJ, if you need a reminder of how dangerous
Bob
this place can
Pockrat
be,
says
that's
to have a
certainly
shot
one
at
from
racing
Austin
tonight,
Dillon,
the
the
rain
chair
would
driver.
need to move
And
out by
you're in the middle of the
8:15 to
pack, DJ,
8:30.
You're racing, you're trying
Eastern?
to fight for position. Is that going
Eastern
through your mind
time?
at all?
It better not be. You're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong seat. You should be out here on the interstate riding around. That's what you're thinking. No,
What's
it
up,
really
Scott
isn't,
Nichols?
you know, and I have to say that
was in your
just
dream?
an incredible
I saw
video
something
and
about they might
watch
buy him
right
out,
there.
Rob. They
Hardly
might buy him
one.
out.
But fortunate that we can watch it and talk about it. And Austin's going to be racing here tonight and try to win and get himself into the playoff. But as a driver, you don't put that, that's not even in your mind. When you're racing, when you get into the car, you have to answer questions about it, maybe leading up to the race and things like that. But it's not something that you ever think about as a driver. You know that there's a chance when you go to Daytona
Hey, no
and Talladega,
problem, LeGuin,
and many
so
other
just
places
curious.
that things might happen, but particular where we race in the packs.
So that
things
means we'll
can
know
possibly
within like
happen.
30 minutes
But
then.
the consequences of it, we all think that we're just going to walk away.
If we
and
know
that's
within 30 minutes, that's
mindset
perfect.
that you
Because
have.
if it doesn't
You
go,
never think
I'll just
about
stop the stream,
moves
come up on
that
the
if I
Viking
do
stream.
this,
We'll do some
the
Vikings
consequences of what
preseason
may
football.
happen physically. That's not
And I'll come
even
back
in your
tomorrow
mind.
for the
You think
race,
about,
I
okay,
guess,
if I
if it's
make
tomorrow.
This move, is it enough that I'm not going
Hey,
to crash the
Valhalla.
car and not give myself a chance to win? But it's never
Adventures
about,
with David,
what
a
might
$5
happen to
super
you,
chat says
if
hopefully
things
this
don't
will
go right
end
in that. And
the
you just can't
rain.
have that mindset.
There you
as
go.
a
We're
driver.
trying to. That's
have
it,
to be
y'all. If you
totally
put a super chat
confident
in,
the
the
cars
rain will
that
probably stop at
NASCAR
Daytona. That's the rumor. I heard a rumor that if you put a super chat in right now,
cars that are extremely
the rain will
safe,
probably stop.
And nobody. This is a choice that you make as a
Don't
competitor,
sue me.
as a
Do
driver,
not sue me.
and as a driver at the
The
cup
jet
level.
dryers are on the
And you
backstretch. backstretch stopped, y'all. The track is wet, y'all.
I haven't seen it. They never made me strap in and say, you have to go do this. It's a choice that you make. And you're
yeah,
always
there's currently still a rain delay, Mr. Parsons.
But again, a testament to just how safe these
Harvick was paid to win by NASCAR and needed an old school driver to help ratings.
Yeah, it's something that
so, Alex, have you just decided I'm going to troll today? Is that what your deal is? You've decided I'm going to be a troll today and I don't want to be a part of this channel anymore? Is that what we're doing today?
And we're together year
Marky
round,
Doo.
working and building and trying to grow.
What's up? Doing good, buddy. Doing good.
And win the moment. And then when something like this happens, it just takes your breath away. And as an owner, you step back and say, oh, my goodness, are they okay? You want to make sure your person.
Duke says they'll get it in. The rain stops when the sun comes down.
And it takes you back, and you're very, very worried and concerned.
Robert Parsons is asking how they do the gifting of the memberships.
Right now, in the most helpless time.
Well, you could see that in the
What's
reaction
up,
from
Billy
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew. They were happy he won, and immediately they're worried about Austin Dillon on the track.
Ask Lobby Raider. He'll know.
Well, of course, TJ, tonight the focus will all be about the playoffs, trying to get those final 2 spots right. And Martin Truex Jr. kind of was moved up after the Kurt Busch news this week.
So 2 spots open. Right, so 15, 16 is Blaney and Truex.
Yeah,
check it out.
I know that he's happy to be in this spot now and not coming here thinking that it's pretty much a must-win situation. So, but he's still in a situation that he knows he has to race up front all night. He has to gather as many points as he possibly can. And if he's in position,
Carjoy,
even
got
though
you,
he
buddy.
has not won here yet, he's very capable. He puts himself in that position a lot. So don't be surprised if it's that car tonight that's the first one to cross the finish line at the end of this race.
He won both stages here in February, but tonight, Dave Burns, he might need to win the race if he wants to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, Marty, I'd have to say so, and I'm standing by with a very calm Martin Truex Jr. right now. We were looking at those numbers there. You're in. I know you want to be in by the end of the night. How do you get it done?
Thomas says, what I saw is it's supposed to rain until about 11 tonight.
I don't know. We just go race hard, try to get points. I mean, we could point our way in. It's possible.
Do I think the rain will make the track wet?
Go about this, just go out and win.
Possibly.
Which is what we're going to try to do.
It's a good chance.
Yeah, we'll just see how it plays out. You know, it's at the end of the day, we're either going to be in or we're out.
Alex says, no, buddy.
For the opportunity, and
I just see
love to go race
it that way. Freedom of speech, buddy.
Our best effort. Try to run our best race here, and hopefully that'll be enough.
What's up, Michael?
You and I were watching the scenes of the chaos
What's up,
that
Ashton
can
G?
ensue here at Daytona. I mean, how do you process how to race within that, knowing that you have these needs for a win or you have these needs for points?
One year, Tony Stewart
here
just
a long time and
eked into the playoffs and he won 5 races. I remember that year, Duke. I remember it, man.
Control, but you try to control what you can. And you had a great race car here in February. Led a
What
bunch,
did Stewart win? 3 championships?
Led a lot.
Tony got 3?
Got back in the pack, got tore up, and then we didn't have the speed the rest of the night.
Michael Lowe
says for us, we need
it's
points.
a dry rain.
Stay up front. We need to be there at the end. It's hard to do all
but
those
Glenn
things.
says, I'm hoping someone who's already won this year wins this race.
Thing that we look at
so
is
Truex and Blaney can both get in.
Are outnumbered, right, by a lot of other by the 2 of their manufacturers. So 6 of you,
I think
you're not
he
starting
might.
In the same spot,
let's
right?
watch
so
it closely,
how do
Robert.
You learn how to work together. You haven't been on track this weekend. No qualifying, no practice. How does this happen for
They
Toyota?
came in hot on me last night, Rob. They came in hot.
We're used to this, no practice.
You should have seen the trolls last night. Oh my goodness!
It's not really a big issue as long as we don't have an issue. I think.
Does anyone think that Martin Truex will win the Cup? And if he does, will he shave the beard?
And you got a bunch of other guys.
I don't think he's ever going to not have a beard.
Our strength is that we work together so well all year long.
Dab Dave, fix his name. There you go, buddy.
Teams that don't do anything together until you get to Daytona.
3 championships.
We do this together a lot all year long between our 2 teams. And that's a positive. That's a strength if we can make it work. If the race plays out the way we need it to, and we find ourselves together, and we're not super outnumbered. So,
Adventures with David says the rain is coming down sideways, so it should roll right off the track.
We've got great teammates, and we'll do our best to work together tonight to get to victory lane.
I called you calm walking in.
Walter says bust out the rain tires and the wiper blade. Bro, you realize if they went on Daytona, even with rain tires,
you as a person, Martin,
you talk about a death trap. 200 miles an hour into that banking.
We're either going to be in or we're going to be out. So nothing we do right now.
You want to launch these cars?
We need to have a good game plan. We need to go focus and put our best race on the racetrack. No different than a championship 4 race, right? Except for
it was, Rob.
tonight.
It was a little bit.
3. So similar but different. And
it was, but I think there was a troll that had
in the pack there, where there was just the other
Patriot Rody's name as well with his icon. So it was confusing.
Obviously, you want to be ahead for the points. You want to be ahead for the win, as you were for the points in February. But making moves in this car, is it the same as the old car? Can you dip out? You have to have someone else go with you?
Viking Jerome says, F, we haven't had rain in 9 months here.
I feel like this car is more closer to the really old cars. Back when I first started racing at Daytona and Talladega, and I feel like they suit me a little bit better in that sense. At least that's
well, it makes them go a lot faster, Faith.
We'll see what tonight brings, but it's been fun. These cars.
Big Dog says everything in Daytona is wet. The air, the tracks, the fans, the town, the local ocean.
More calm.
What are the chances of that?
True.
Slim to none, but it's a good wish.
You know what? Hey, real quick, on that note, the track was a lot looser than everyone expected. Did you see that? Did you take note of that? And are you expecting the same thing from your car?
Yeah, I mean, we noticed that, but what do? We have.
Yeah, it was really weird, Rob, near the end of that one yesterday.
Tires are different. The cars are different. So I don't expect it to be that way.
It's not unexpected, though. I've seen channels, Rob, when they hit 10 grand.
Marty, going for that spot
this is when it gets weird. This is when you start getting a lot of
good stuff there, Dave, and you can see that championship presence he talks
about. A lot of
being in the
riffraff.
Final Four so many times. They certainly not feeling it tonight. But DJ, look at those numbers: 0 for 69 at super speedway races. Is it a must-win for Truex tonight? Because those are pretty big numbers to overcome.
Yeah, he's not even concerned about that, and I'm not concerned about that either, because I've seen him.
All right, we'll see, Alex. Have a good one.
He knows how to get himself in position, and that's what it's about. Making the right moves at the right time. He's learned from these things, so getting that opportunity to do that.
What's up, Paulo Blanco?
I have no doubt in my mind. He talked about there's not many Toyotas, but the thing that he does have is Martin Truex Jr. has raced his career in a way that he has a lot of friends out there. They respect what Martin Truex Jr. has been able to do as a driver, the way that he's handled himself. So I appreciate all that. Now, the one thing I'm going to question here, he's a good friend, and I appreciate it.
Mike says I'm only the riff, not the RAF.
What does that make the car? I'm not sure, but no, I think he has a.
I don't know. I guess they would roll on Monday, Big Dog.
The situation.
If it gets pushed to Monday, I'm out, y'all, because I'll be at the doctor's office all morning.
As we talked about, the difficulty in all of this is just avoiding other incidents, other people's messes. So how do you do that? So with Martin Truex, you heard him. You go out, I'm going to run as hard as I can run. So that means wherever he's at, however his car is running, that's what he's going to accept at the time. And if you do that, continue to do that.
Yeah, I'm at the old hospital from 7 o'clock in the morning till at least 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
To win this race at the end of the night.
At the least.
And remember, Truex has finished top 2 in the championship standings 5 of the last 6 years.
Wow.
I think the rest of the playoff field would not be sad if he did not make it. So let's talk about a couple of drivers who must win tonight and could get it done, Brad. Woo. Look at this list right here. I mean, you could honestly pick 7, 8 drivers out of that list that could get it done tonight and make their way into the playoffs.
I think you can pick all of them. I mean, under the right circumstances. We saw it last night. Jeremy Clements was in the right spot at the right time.
Lady Vixen, welcome to the Berserkers. General Thor, be proud.
Very easily. Same scenario. Any one of these guys or any one of the other 30 in the field could win this race tonight.
Joshua Michael Brown, welcome to the Berserkers. General Thor, be proud.
Won at this racetrack before. He's a good super speedway racer. Always got a fast race car. Absolutely, Eric.
Also has won at Talladega.
Yeah, this race used to be held on July 4th, right, Dennis Hyde?
In fact, let's look at
this race used to be on the 4th, and it was always rainy too.
In the rain, which we have this evening, which helps as well. So
I appreciate it, Michael.
For him, his Talladega win a little more dominant than that, but
Billy
he
wants
knows
Bubba to win.
To get it done in a super speedway race.
Well, I think
Rob says maybe just do a 10-lap sprint.
Last few years in particular, but Eric finds himself up in the mix a lot. You always see him in the top 10.
Look at that,
He's
Rob.
making the right moves. He understands when to really start applying that pressure and getting himself
125 in the house
and knowing where he needs to be at the end. That's
Listen, these cars aren't even out on the track, y'all. They're still out in the garages.
Of the race and where you need
the cars are still in the garages.
Chris Buescher, DJ, you know, he has had 3 top 10s in the last 4 races.
Shit, 30 minutes for him to get those pushed out to the grid.
This quick, this late in the season. I know, though, and I think the garage knows, though, he will be a threat tonight.
Okay, absolutely. And if nothing else, he won one of the duels here back in February.
Who's starting
so
up
that
front?
tells you he understands
Well,
how
the
to
qualifying
get
was
the job
rained
done.
out.
Another driver that
So
we
they
see
lined
in
them
the
up
mix all the
according
time.
to
He's really
practice
smart.
speeds, I
He's
believe.
focused on what he
So
needs
it's
to do.
Larson
He
and
understands
Elliott on the
tonight
front row.
He needs to do something here.
Larson,
at Daytona
Elliott,
that
row
he
1.
hasn't done
Logano,
in a
Suarez,
4K
row
race
2.
to move himself
Bell,
into the
Reddick,
12.
row
He needs
3.
to win. But he's found
Harvick,
himself in this
Buscher,
position a
row
number of
4.
times late in the
And
races.
McDowell,
Now
Bowman,
he has to
row
take
5.
that experience that he learned there and put it all to good use in one night.
Boy, Brad, I thought Michael McDowell was going to win it at Watkins Glen last weekend, but he is a former Daytona 500 winner, so he's proven before, hey, I know how to win at this track.
Comes into this racetrack. He's a champion at this racetrack.
There you go, Rob.
500, our biggest race.
About time you come to the Harvick side.
Because of that, had a great run last week. Absolutely a great opportunity for Michael
What's the
McDowell
current sub
and his front row
count?
team to get another chance to hold another trophy at Daytona. I would not be surprised at the end of the night.
We started, I came online, it was 10,530. It's now 10,538.
Yourself is something that Michael McDowell does a really good job of. You know, he doesn't press the issue. You won't see him, doing crazy things. And I think other drivers understand, especially some of his Ford teammates. If
The July race in the 80s were at 9 a.m.
This is somebody that I can rely on. That we can go
Them
out here.
bitch is not running today, says Rob.
Push him. He's going to help me in return at times.
Don't
So I
really
think
know,
that he
Michael.
has that
Haven't heard
support,
anything
which
announced
could
yet.
be very beneficial late in the race.
DJ, how about Eric Jones?
The
Petty
nose
GMS
on the
has
Fords
been
is a
so
bonus
impressive
here?
this year. Their entire program has been elevated here.
Robert
in
thinks they should
2022.
start racing when the
doubt
rain
they have
stops.
elevated it, and it's been very impressive to this point. I saw him win a race here, and he had a torn-up race car. It looked like he was racing.
Cole
in
says no
Parkville.
way they have a race tonight.
Could go win with at Daytona. But
I lived in
it's
South Florida
understanding
for
what you
10
have and
years,
getting
almost
your
every day
position
around
right,
3 or
and he
4
did
in
a really
July
good
and
job.
August. It
He's just-
friggin'
he's a
storms.
smart
Humidity
race
is
driver,
horrible.
and that goes a long way
Oh,
here.
I believe
But
it.
he's also understands how aggressive you
10,
have
5,
to be.
38.
He's ready tonight. I believe this
My
season
little
has done
sister
a lot
Quincy is a
for his
Bubba Wallace
confidence.
fan, but I
Once
also
again,
think she's
to
an
help you realize
undercover. She
the
won't say it
type
out
of
loud
race
yet.
driver that
Austin
he is,
Dillon
which is
fan.
outstanding.
Yeah, he comes to this racetrack. He loves this racetrack. He always
Corey
performs
LaJoie
well
is
here.
gonna win,
This
upset
this
the field.
GMS team has been really, really on the upswing. Everyone in the sport has taken note.
How come they
of
wouldn't
their
like him
performance
showing
this
the
year.
cars?
So, again, another young man. Would not be surprised to see him take the checkered flag.
That just goes to show you that's
They
four
don't like
drivers
him
we
showing
talked
the
about
cars
there.
like
That's
this.
why Martin Truex Jr. has to think this is a must-win tonight because any of those drivers could pull off the win and put themselves
Uh-oh,
in the
storm
playoffs
alert.
in 2022. Hey, when we come back, we'll talk about a few more playoff
That's for here,
drivers as
y'all.
well, as this is the regular season finale
That's for here.
the NASCAR Cup Series. Playoffs start next week in Darlington, but the field will be set tonight here in Daytona.
All right, so here we go. We're going to a commercial break. Next Monday, the rain stops for a few hours, says Big Dog. We'll figure it out, y'all. The Viking game, as I mentioned, starts at 6. So it's only 5 right now. So I've got about 45 minutes to make a decision. And if we're sitting at 5:45 my time, then and it doesn't look like this race is going to go, I'll end this stream, come back up on a Viking setup, and we'll just play it by ear. I like the little kid on LHS. It's great they can have the under 13 driving in the big league. He's 19, bro. He's 19. I'm ready, Allie. Flash floods in Phoenix? I don't know about Phoenix. I'm down south. I'm down south by the Mexico border. Dennis says, I looked at the radar. There's no way they're going to race tonight. Nah, TV wasn't going on. Well, that would be perfect for me, Brandon. That would be perfect for me. All right, Mike, middle of the 7th, still 2-1 Miami. So Miami's beating the Dodgers right now? Brandon, you got Larson and Elliott on the front row. No Fear says, what were you doing when you were 19? I was in the Army. I was stationed in Germany. Marlins 2-1, bottom of the 6th. It sounds like old Dustin May probably had a pretty good outing. No problem, Brandon. Robert says NASCAR just texted me. They will not be racing tonight. NASCAR was like, who should I let know what's going on here? Yeah, let me text this random sumbitch in Australia. Let him know. Oi, oi, oi. What base was I at? Whoa. Big Dog says at 19 I was chasing them girls day and night. Girls, girls, girls. My brother was stationed in mines. Oh, really? I was in a place called Gießen. Oh, it was Harvick that texted you? Makes sense. Makes sense with you being such a big fan of his. I was smoking weed and a loser with no goals at 19 in 1992, says Dennis Hyde. Marky Dew got the Dodgers on the radio and life is good. And the Modelos are not bad either. There you go, Marky. My hometown is hosting Rugby 7, so I'm going to be in between that and the potentiality of this race. Holy crap.
Going to race, and I can't see anything
like I said,
wrong
these
with
cars
that.
are still in the garage, yo.
Chase. I understand Chase being a little upset that he got maybe moved. You know, he opted to move out of the way instead of
How long is the rain going to last down in Daytona?
Choice as Larson came across there.
I think
But
probably
this is the end of the race.
18 minutes and 22 seconds.
Now, and that's why he's saying there
18 minutes and 22 seconds and the rain's going to cut right off.
And this is how things look. This isn't going to be the last time. Probably not the last time.
Dennis is 2022 and I no longer smoke weed, but I'm still a loser.
Are going to be racing head to head for championships for a lot of years to come.
Brad, you know what we call that as an owner? High quality problems, right? You know, that's
problems right there.
19, I was following Metallica around.
Back in the soup.
But do they race each other differently moving forward with the playoffs starting?
Mike was at Fort Riley.
You don't race differently. You just
For the
race
Big
hard.
Red one?
What DJ said is absolutely
That's one of the
100%
best uniform patches in the Army, dude.
Wrong. He just drove in very, very
That's one
deep
of
and
the
missed the corner a
best
little bit.
uniform
Used up
patches
Chase.
in the old
so now
Army.
Chase knows what he has to do when he's racing, Kyle. You have to go win. So there's nothing wrong with this. This is a great learning opportunity.
Eric says, from what I just saw, it looks like they might not get it off tonight. Hope they do.
Next time out, Chase knows he's got to go into that corner a little bit harder.
So, DJ, let's flip it over to the Kyle Larson side.
Brandon says in 92, I lost my job at the bank. Very first day. Old lady asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her over.
The greatest summer, as good of a year last year as Kyle Larson had. The summer has not been fantastic. They had not won since February. They needed that win to kind of get things going for them for the playoffs.
The curve says in 1992, I wasn't a thing.
That Kyle Larson and his team needed.
Brandon says big red one, baby.
And I think
Hell yeah.
you know, things would have played out a little differently to where that
Big Dog says 30 years from now, Ty Gibbs will say at 19 I was racing with the big boys because Kurt Busch was out.
And taken that confidence, but they saw what their driver was willing to do.
I always wanted to have that big red one patch on my Army uniform.
And gives that driver. It's
Love
not
it.
that Kyle Larson's ever lacking for confidence because he knows he can drive and win in anything, anywhere, at any time. But it's always nice to get that win and that little bit of momentum.
Dennis says I see rain for the next 2 to 4 hours. They won't race.
Shop absolutely love what they saw at Watkins Glen last week. They know that their driver will go and
Listen,
do
we
whatever
almost
he
got
needs to do
200 in the
to bring back
chat,
that
y'all. I
checkered flag.
appreciate
And
y'all
I like
coming
what I
in to
saw
hang
at
out
Kyle
with me.
Larson because you're
While
exactly
we
right.
wait to
He's
find
had
out what's
a
going
tough
on
year.
today
Now
for
we
this
expect
race at
him- we expect him to
Daytona,
win
the
races
Coke
every week,
400.
and he hadn't done it. They've not
Coke
he's
Zero
still a little
Sugar
off.
400.
He had to go and push the buttons a little bit further to get that victory. It tells me he'll do whatever it
Faith
takes
says my
to get
maternal
that checkered
grandfather
flag.
was a
That's the
Tuskegee
guy
airman. My
you want
cousin
driving
is an
your race car.
airman.
Brad, you know this
And I
in
have 2
sports,
cousins in
winning
the
fixes
Marines.
everything.
That's the
That's what
nicest
Kyle
thing.
Nice,
Larson
Faith.
did last
Thank
week.
them
When we
all
come
for their
back,
service.
We'll talk some more playoff drivers and about their
But
chances
Gwens
coming
didn't
up
exist in
the playoffs, which
92
start
either.
next week on USA in Darlington. Countdown to Green is brought to you by the new 2 for $5 menu at Sonic.
All right, so we're going to another commercial break. Moonshine up in here. I was 12 in 92. Good times. I wasn't even born in 92, says Allie. Listen, of the 171, if you have not yet, please hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, and turn on the bell notifications. So you know when we go online here on Valhalla Sports Talk. Valhalla was 55 in 92. Actually, I had just gotten out of the Army a year prior. What's up, Mark Guest? Big Dog was driving long-haul trucks in 92. Faith's sister was born in summer of 92, and she was 8 at the time. All right, I'll be right back, y'all. I'm not going nowhere. I'll be right here. No Fear says, what did the banana say to the dildo? I don't know why she's shaking. She's... I didn't get to read it. I was driving long-haul truck. I saw that. It's on NBC, if it goes tonight, LeGuentz. Had one brother that was 1st Infantry and another that was 81st Airborne. There you go. Kerm had a brother that graduated high school in 92. Walter gonna go on a beer run. I was gonna time him out, but I'm cooking right now, says Sheila.
4 races.
NASCAR needs to invest in self-drying tracks. How the hell would they do that? I got Commanders versus Ravens on NBC, so I guess I'll watch that. Well, there you go.
Racing at Daytona is special for everybody, right? It's the world center of racing.
Daytona's become a pretty special place for me.
Daytona 500! Holy crap! Yes! I love you guys!
You dream of getting raced in Daytona.
The rain's kind of moving in, Mark.
Man, Daytona means so much, and tonight means even more for a few drivers who could put themselves in the playoffs. Kyle Busch already in the playoffs with the win earlier this year at the Bristol Dirt Race.
Jack says the Bengals are beating the Rams right now. Revenge.
Right now. So Kyle is a driver who's in.
All right, here's Kyle getting interviewed. Here's what you all been asking about.
And the pressure-packed 400 miles that come in the regular season finale.
Yeah, it's definitely not the world in which you are favored at all coming into Daytona with the unknowns of this place, right? Like you can go out there and just have chaos ensue, which I am positive that that's going to happen tonight. But certainly feels good to be on the inside and
What's
be
up,
locked
Marlene
in.
Castro?
Years ago, I was on the inside as well with, I think, being top 4 in points.
I don't
or something
think
like
that's
that.
a real paint scheme this week, Dennis.
But we were
I'm not sure that's the correct paint scheme. It's the one of two. I think there's two in there that aren't right.
That way. So coming down
that
here
and Hamlin's, I think, are incorrect.
Of a restrictor plate race, that's just
racing a dome. That'd be badass.
You know, a very uneasy feeling.
Kyle, you talk about the unknown. So for a lot of years before this year with the next-gen car, you raced a car and,
there you go, Faith.
That was very
you
similar
for
so many years. You understood everything about what you needed from it, what you could do with it. But now with the next-gen car, you've had a race here in February, then you had one at Talladega. What do you know about this now that's completely different and things that you've had to adjust to with this new car?
You know, basically how the car rides, how it feels in the draft, how the suck-up rate is, and what it feels like in the lane on the bottom of the track and the lane on the top of the track, going up the middle if you're leading or if you're in traffic. All those sorts of things kind of compile, and you think about that, and you remember that, and you make notes on all that, on how your car drives. And so, you know, being able to get into the playoffs, obviously, come down to Daytona for the summer race, it being, you know, at nighttime, but still ambient temperatures are typically higher. Track
Aroldis
temperatures
Chapman on the 15-day aisle because of an infection from a tattoo.
In the springtime here, and so handling typically
Dennis
becomes
is one pride Lions for life.
You know, with the drag on these cars, with as slow as they kind of seem to be, and the tire being wider, the grip level seems to be okay.
Says they're install the jet
fight some of
dryers
those handling issues.
in the
now,
walls
this
on the high side of the track.
Nighttime, so I can be completely wrong, but I would predict that it's going to be all out, foot to the floor, and hammer down. Let's go.
You know, Kyle, everybody's talking about who's going to push who's going to help who. I don't want to talk about that because you the man. You go out here and whoop these boys. I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you race up front? Do you stay in the back? I mean, what do you do? We're trying to figure it out, and we can't come up with an answer.
I don't know. I don't know. People have asked me all week long, like, hey, what's your plan? What you going to do? You going to go up front? You going to run hard and all that sort of stuff? And I'm like, well, you want to run up front because you want to show the guys up front that are up front that you can run up front and your car is fast and you can make moves and you've got confidence in your stuff and all that. But hell, when it comes down to the end of the race, ain't none of those guys going to be there because they're going to crash out anyway. So you've got a whole new group of guys that are going to be there at the front that you got to deal with in order to go race for a win. So who knows?
Kyle, it's no secret you are currently a free agent. This is
there's still a rain delay, Mr. Parsons.
A long time, 15 years as a matter of fact. So
if you have DirecTV, the race is on Channel 5. I bet you it's not.
How tough has this process been for you personally to go through?
It has been tough.
NASCAR has to find a universal rain tire.
No driver ever looks forward to, but
they're never going to race at Daytona in the rain, y'all.
Free agency stuff.
Period.
From team to team or what have you. And so, obviously, ever since the beginning, the very beginning of all these conversations, the intent was to always stay at Joe Gibbs Racing and be in the 18 car. So,
what's
still
up,
working
Shelby?
through all the sorts of stuff. I mean, there's just
the Vikes play the Broncos in about an hour.
I do have to look on the outside and see what is out there.
I may or may not be doing a stream for that game, depending on what happens with this race.
Sponsorship search and trying to find that sort of stuff and looking for some things to keep the 18 play intact.
Real quick, do you have a timeline of when you expect this to be wrapped up?
Yesterday.
I know yesterday, but you got to project forward.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Trust me, I know. Playoffs are coming up too, so you don't want to really go into the playoffs with all this stuff lingering, and the anticipation out there is really high. Trust me, I hear it from a lot of folk. But I'd love to tell you a timeline. I'd love to have it tied up, this week or the next week or whatever. But decisions definitely have to start falling into place. That's for sure. I know the urgency. Trust me, I'm seeing it, I'm feeling it, I'm wanting it. I want to be settled and I want to be.
Moonshine says I'm not a fan. But Kyle is always a good interview.
Before the playoffs start next week. So, hey, bud, appreciate your time. We'll see you hopefully later tonight racing here at Daytona. That's the plan. There's one of your fans right there hanging out with us.
He's not my fan.
Guy's a Harvick fan. He's in a Harvick deal.
That's a good point.
He loves the name. I get it.
That's a good point. But he's at least willing to stand with you or the virtual to hang out with. Right.
Take a selfie. Yeah. Take a selfie.
Exactly. That's good stuff. All right. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate your time. So let's talk about Kyle. And he makes a terrific point, DJ. If you're a free agent, you want to get all that behind you before the playoffs start next week if you can.
100%. And who in this sport, honestly, that follows this and knows the great career that Kyle Busch has put together to this point would even think and fathom that he would be in this situation. So, I understand, there's a lot of things involved, and we won't get into all of that.
Blame it on the rain.
It would be nice to see this get taken care of soon, because I want to be able to see the Kyle Busch that we know, not thinking about that. Have that out of the way. Whatever it is, just get it out of the way, get it done, where he can go be a factor in the playoffs.
One of the premier talents of all time. You're exactly right. I want to watch him drive a race car, not look at this cloud that we have to talk about. He has to talk about. Kyle Busch accounts for 34% of all of Toyota's Cup wins. Think about that. 2 of their 3 championships has come through this guy. There's a lot left in him, and I want to see the best Kyle Busch.
It might still be raining.
And that's an interesting dynamic, too, with Toyota. We talked about how small their group is.
All right, I'm going back to Twitter to see what the Twitter tweets say.
Does he work with, his teammate Martin Truex Jr.? Does he help them? How does that work tonight?
Work with that 18.
In the regular season finale. I know he's worried about the 18. I know that he really wants to focus on his race team. But you look at how they're going into the playoffs, and they've had speed, DJ. They haven't finished races. I think that's the biggest thing, is just completing a race for the 18 team. They know they can run up front. They need to show it early in the playoffs.
Yeah, certainly not consistent with what we've seen over the years of him winning 60 Cup races and getting himself positioned with that. But I know that's in there still. There's no doubt about it. Has to everything around him to make that happen. Let's get this distraction out of the way.
Well, guys, unfortunately, Mother Nature is going to win tonight, and we will not be racing the Cup Series race here this evening.
All right, here's the announcement.
It'll be tomorrow. tomorrow, 10 a.m. and
So
early start
Cup race
on
tomorrow,
CNBC.
10 a.m.
You won't
Eastern
wanna miss
time,
it.
10
All
to
the
9,
action
9 to 8, so
will happen
7
tomorrow
a.m.
on CNBC. We will come on at 10 a.m. Green flag at 10:05. That's old school, DJ. That's the morning race here at Daytona, you know?
It's giving us
So it's
signs of what
official.
we need to go back to. Now, I appreciate being here at night, but let's start this thing at 10 a.m. next year.
That's right.
That's going to be fun, isn't it, Brad? Going to be
that's
exciting.
Going to be fun. That's going to be fun to watch. And,
All right, so I'm going to come off of this stream. I'll end this stream, and then I'll come up on a Minnesota Viking stream.
It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be interesting to see who holds
in about
and I can see your eyes
30 or 40 minutes.
Oh, man, we're set up for night. We got to get set up for the day somehow.
I got to get on the phone.
But we're not done from Daytona yet. When we come back, a special treat for everybody, the 2015 Daytona Summer Race. And guess who won that race?
All right, so we're going to pause that audio. But it's official. The race has been delayed to 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, y'all. And I'll be on for that race. 7 a.m. my time. The COO looking at me like I'm crazy. All right, y'all. So that's it. It's official. Race will go off tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. my time. They said it was going to be on CNBC tomorrow. CNBC. Do I have that? I sure do. I sure do. So, no problem, Walter Scott. No church tomorrow? Yeah, I don't do church. All right, y'all, but I'm going to bounce. So this is going to end this one, and I'll get set up for the Viking game tonight. Say no problem, Robert. But listen, y'all, Valhalla Sports Talk. Thanks, the 164 of you that joined us. Maybe I could, you want to raid somebody real quick before I go out? Let's raid somebody. Here's a good guy. Here's a good guy. Let's raid Corey over at Corey on Sports. Yeah, he's not on right now. Is he doing a podcast, UST? Yeah, I don't see him on right now. Let's do Corey, y'all. So we're going to go over there, say Valhalla Sports Talk Raid. Subscribe if you like what you see. Make sure to like his video. And I'll see you guys in about a half hour for Vikings football. There it is. Go over there, say Valhalla Sports Talk Raid. And then I'll see you all tomorrow morning on the NASCAR side early for the Daytona race. I'll meet you over there, though. Valhalla Sports Talk Raid, yo. So far, we only got 2 of you that went over.
You haven't missed anything. The Bears' offense is looking pretty darn good, but they won't have blocking in the regular season, Mike. So, but that's it. How are you doing, Mike? I'm trying to stay positive. It's hard right now. What up, Valhalla? How you doing? How are you doing, my guy? We got a raid in the building from the Viking extraordinaire. How are y'all doing in the raid?
Make sure to like, y'all. Subscribe.
How you doing? This is a raid. Thank you for the raid, my guy. Viking extraordinaire. He's a Dodger extraordinaire as well. He's a NASCAR as well. Thank you for the raid. Right to left, reset. Looking, pressure.
All right, y'all. So I'm out. I appreciate y'all for going over there. I appreciate y'all, those of you that went over and rated. Yeah, no race tonight, Sheila. It's tomorrow morning. But for now, Valhalla Sports Talk off the air, y'all. We'll see you in just about 30.